Alright everybody, welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video. It is ya boy Mike. And we're going to be doing the same thing that we did with God Goku, where we take in all the information that we possibly can and try to decide what might be the best hidden potential route or the best equipment to go for this unit. We're also going to be looking at Yajirobe, because I figured we might as well just do the side banner unit while we are doing the main banner unit, just kind of put it all together, which I know I didn't do it for Vegeta with God Goku, but I don't know, don't worry about it. So let's just go ahead and look at his kit to just kind of give a refresher. He gets the start of turn attack and defense 150% and 2 key, and then basically that again if he has 5 or more Earthbred fighters. He gets the build up to 150% attack and defense with each attack that he performs. Gets the built-in medium chance to crit, high chance to dodge. Then he has a high chance to launch, or he launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super attack, and then does another one with the same exact stuff if he does evade an attack during the turn, plus an additional 10% dodge chance with each super attack performed. Now he also has the, I would say, incredible active skill condition of if he either dodges 4 times or has every single ally in the turn being the Earthbred fighters, which is incredibly easy, he could just launch the super attack, the extra large spirit ball. Now something to keep in mind though is most of the time you do not want to be using the extra large spirit ball or the active skill before you build up, because remember he does want to get this in. So most of the time you want him to be using it on turn 3 or 4 when he has gotten a couple of hits in, while also still having that intro buff. I do think that it would help and be more beneficial for that. But anyways, now we look at Yajirobe as well. Oh yeah, and then he also just only raises attack and then high chance of stun for the turn. Or I'm sorry, on the super attack. Then we got Yajirobe, the support god, 150% attack and defense, 3 key, gets the key and attack and defense for everybody but himself. Then once he is the third to collect the key spheres in the turn, he gives everybody even more key and attack and defense for 3 turns. So which is a godlike passive. And then this doesn't really matter, you're not going to really care about his attack stats. You're not going to really care about him critting. He does have the great chance to dodge, but only after getting the attack once. He does survive KO attacks though, so it kind of mixes into each other where you get hit one time, probably be about to die, and then have to pray on the fact that he can do a great chance to evade. Then he also has a pretty good passive ender, which is just a 10% attack and defense. Or I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, attack and defense. 10% HP recovered at the end of the turn. He does have the active skill, but I have noticed that a lot of the time you're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. So you'll have, just because he's going to be floating most of the time, and he has to be under 400% HP, and then he has to be above 5 turns. It's something that is worth noting, but it's not something that you're going to see too often. And he also has the massively raised defense, but most of the time he is not able to take normals, unfortunately. His defense is just not there, which I will show in a second. But yeah, he's pretty good too. Let's go ahead and look at the showcase. Now, if we just pop this to full screen, you can see that this is Yamcha with support and then also with his intro still up. So he has 560k defense. As you can see here, it is also still turn 3. But then let's see, it's right here. Oh, just missed it. Okay, he's got 6 out of 7 links, 540k defenses, is with both Yajirobe passive up and a support on rotation, and almost all of his links active though. So it's another thing to keep in mind. Then when we probably get over here in a more realistic situation where 400k basically for super attacking, but that is fully built up because it is turn 9. And then I just kind of want to make sure, just check, see how many super attacks were actually launched this turn. 230k, by the way, start of turn. Okay, dodges. Ooh, the goat. Okay, let's just see. 4 million attack stats start a turn as well. Basically 6 million. How much is his third gonna do? 7.6. You can see how fast he builds up, going from 4 million to 7 million after doing 3 super attacks. Do keep in mind though that is because he is not only building up, but the fact that he is getting attack and defense. I'm sorry, just attack from his super attack effects. So it's like all of that pairing in together is what made him get that way. And then I want to just make sure and show what's his attack stat look like fully built up. All right, 8 million. Does he do an addition? 8.5. Third? No. Okay. So yeah, as you can see there, that is like with the intro worn off though. I'm sure if I probably go back to here, it might actually be a higher attack stat just because of this. Okay, yeah, see 10 million. Just second super. Oh, he didn't second super. Wait, it's whatever. Okay. So yeah, as you can see there, 4 million to 8 million. 8 million probably being around when the intro wears off, and around 10 million if you, depending on how much links you have active, of course, being around the general of what you can expect from this guy. If you are running him on stuff he's going to be linking up pretty well on. And then also having the support, of course, with Yajirobe and Master Roshi. So that is like basically his defensive numbers. Or I'm sorry, his offensive numbers. And then his defensive numbers, as we just saw, is 220k, 250k at the start of turn, and then building up to 600k, 550k. But it does go down to 400k if there's no support, and then around 450, 500k with support. And then if we look at some of the Dokkan events real quick, we got something like the Goat Logic, of course, with 500k, so he'll be taking that for sure. But let's just go all the way down to the end of the stuff that actually matters. So let's just look at, I believe it's down here. Here we go. So we look at the stuff like this, and we could see that he would not be able to tank from... the only thing I don't like is how this one is kind of like bottom, top left, right. But I'm sorry, bottom left, right, top left. It is what it is. So like I was saying here, he's going to be able to tank super attack if he is fully built up. Just barely, but he will tank. Because his attack and defense will be lower and it's going to be a little bit difficult, he will not probably still survive this. He would not survive a Omega Super, I don't think. But you're going to have to pray on the dodge chance for that one. Now let's look at the event you're not going to be able to dodge in. 1.2 million dead. 728,000 might actually make it where he survives just barely with 200, 300k defense, I think. Same answer here. How much HP does Yamcha team get? 600k? I think he'll survive. I think you'll just barely survive with that one. 575k, you'll be fine as long as you can get your super attacks off beforehand, because the intro buff will help a lot with that. Now we'll go over here. Thank you both, Luca and Raspi, for both making this and compiling this, of course. And then, as you can see here, Metal Cooler Core, he's dying. He's just dying. Not only because of the SA doing this much, about basically the same amount, but just having the 40% defense lowered for 3 turns, and Yamcha only having the dodge chance. Other than the dodge chance, he kind of doesn't have like any extra defensive capabilities on top of that. So you're just preying on dodge basically. And then we have the basically 2 million after the 30% increase. You're dead. Yamcha has to dodge or he dies. That is the general consensus is he has to dodge or he dies. And then one other thing I wanted to look at was the Red Ribbon Army one. This is probably the only one that I didn't have loaded up. Only because this one is a little bit harder to navigate. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, we have right here 600k. He'll probably be fine. He does raise his attack by 300k, but even with that, I think he'll still be fine. He won't die from a super as long as you have the intro. And even if you didn't have the intro, I think he'll still be fine after he's fully built up. Get something like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. 900k, yikes. 875k, he's probably still yikes. It's 900k at the start when Yamcha has 250, 300k defense. It's definitely not the best, but after he's built up, has the 800 and has the 600, 500k, definitely survived that. Yeah, no, he's not surviving that. He's not surviving that. Especially when the defensive capabilities of Yamcha kind of peak at 500k, like I was saying, after the intro wears off. But yeah. And then which one is this one? ISL. This one, this one's. I don't know. Like he gets weaker after he gets to his final form, so I don't know if you want to really count this as a stage. But yeah, I guess one other thing we could look at, which was pretty hard at the time, was you. So 812k and 1.5. This is just another thing where he has to dodge or he dies on both cases. The only way you would be able to survive this is intro up and full passive active. Still might be pretty close too. Okay, and then I don't actually know if I can look at the 8th year anniversary events through this. It's like I was saying, it's a little bit hard to navigate, but 8th anniversary battle. Let's go ahead and look at 7th and 8th year. Have to get his attacks in first. Dead. Have to definitely get his. Whoa! Why is that one so much higher than that one? That's crazy. Yeah. See, this is. I'm not sure how this is supposed to be. If it's supposed to go. Yeah, this is like. I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably the TUR and then the LR stats. So let's look at it that way. 798k. Yeah, and then 998k. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, it's kind of like as if his intro and all of his supers are good, then yeah, whatever. I'm just actually let me just make sure. Does it? Yeah, each attack performs. Okay, it does not have to be. It's pretty good. That it does not have to be a super, because as you saw, there was a couple of times when Yamcha just basic attacked and didn't do his super, which is fine as long as it's still the first few turns. I don't think they increase stats at all. Not too sure. I'm a global main, so excuse me if I'm not too positive on some of these stats or how the event works. But yeah, like I was saying, most of the time he is dead if he does dodge, just because 600k is just not enough. And this is even more confusing. Well, you're dead. You have to dodge. There is no amount of. You'd have to have like 90% damage reduction. I don't even think 90% damage reduction is gonna save you from that. But yeah, that's just because that's how this event was designed, where you have to die here. Basically, they want you to use the 8th year anniversary units. But yeah, I guess we can look at 6th year too, just in case. 6th year. Yeah, this one's a lot easier to read. Okay. 400. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, this one's a lot easier. So everything up to fifth year. Fifth year is fine. Let's look at sixth year because I clicked on the wrong one. 112, a 40, 240. Yeah, he's taking these. He's not gonna be like eating them. He will take like 300, 400k, but he'll be fine because these are super costs. You have to remember that too. That this is going to be type neutrality. This isn't going to be giving like how it was with here, where he has to dodge because this is, even though this says 812, it's going to probably be around like 900 million, 900 million, 900k to a million. Stuttering over my words so much today. But yeah, like as you can see here, not his defense stats are just not able to keep up with it. Let's look at again over here. This is with 2 supports on rotation again. Intro worn off. I'm assuming fully built up. What's your defense looking at? 524k. Yeah, still 2. Still got, and then that's not even Yajirobe, so it's actually pretty good, but that's because you have to run TEQ. So it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. 575k with basically 3 supports on rotation though. So yeah, he's not surviving a lot of supers from difficult content, and even normals he's probably gonna have a little bit of difficulty on. This one's fine. Oh yeah, one thing I did want to check was, because we're already over here, was the Sin Shenron or the Shadow Dragon event 2. One that's only on JP. Let's look at the hardest one because that's the only one that people care about. Normal's fine, normal's fine, normal's fine. Yeah, so he's actually no, because type disadvantage. This is not almost fine. Yeah, even with the intro, that's pretty yikes. It's probably gonna be taking like 100k per normal if he doesn't dodge, maybe 200k. Ooh. I think he lowers defense here. I'm almost positive that's a general lowers defense here. But yeah, 1.3 million isn't the worst, but the only thing is that he lowers your defense, so it's just like not too cool, I would say. Yeah. And then something that, well, I'm gonna pull it up over here just because so I can zoom in a bit. Something, oh yeah, and then thank you to, I think it's, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but thank you for this. So the way that, if you don't know, is that Yamcha has the 10% chance to dodge within the turn, but it does not play into the high chance. So if I have the 50% chance to dodge and then I do my super attack, it does not turn into 60. And then when again a super again, it does not turn into 70, does not turn into 80, does not turn into 90 with the active skill. The way that it works is that it actually does the dodge chance twice. So does no supers, and then because you are an INT unit, it has the 52.5% chance to dodge. Then with one super, 57.25% because of the 5 dodge trying to proc, then the super chance trying to proc, and then his high chance of dodge trying to proc. Then obviously here we got the 62%, 66%, 71, 76. And then the active skill is because this does proc on this part of the passive because it does count as a super attack. And then, so this is, I guess, like a really good thing to keep in mind is that if you look over here and you go for the full 100% additional route, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have the first chance, the second chance, the third chance of super, we got the 57, 62, 66% chance. So basically, you have, if you get every single one active, you're going to be right around, or just a little bit above the great chance to dodge, right? And then if we go over here, we got the 65, so you can see the improvement with going from 52.5 to 65 when you go full 30 dodge. This was before the equipment system got updated, by the way. So this was 4 months ago at the time of posting this. So I think that the dodge chance actually went up to 32. So this would just be barely improved. The only thing I'm going to say as well is that I'm not going to try to look at these numbers because it's 15 additional compared to 30 dodge. So I'm gonna try to ignore these just a little bit, but I will talk about it just a little bit too. So here we go. Got, like I was saying, the 65 compared to the 52.5, 68.5 compared to the 57. So that's basically like a 12.5 increase. And then we got again the 11.5 increase, 10%, and then 9.25. Or is it like 8.75? Something like that. And then the 8.5 or something, is that? No, 7.5. And then, what's that one? Like 5.25 or something like that. I'm bad at math. Please excuse me. I think it's at 6.5. But yeah, as you can see, the 30 dodge does still get the sort of extra reliability on dodging. The only thing is you can see the numbers decrease a lot from here to here. So I'm actually not sure what the percentage base would be for these if you did go almost all additional, but so I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go 1-to-1 and compare the numbers just because of that. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just going to make this a little bit zoomed in. There we go. So yeah, if we look at the just the one super, because that's guaranteed, you go from a 57.25 to a 68.5 chance to dodge, almost a great chance to dodge, just by going full dodge rather than full additional. You're getting an 11% chance increase, which does matter a lot because it's going to make the unit more reliable and be able to tank, or not tank, be able to dodge just that little bit more, which is so crucial. The 10% chance is very, very crucial and stuff like this. But the only problem is that you're going to be running out of stuff like this. You're going to unfortunately not be able to get stuff like the 10 million attack stats. Wait, that was okay. Well, that's like 3 supports. But yeah, we'll say 8 million. The 8 million, 7 million attack stats. Not once, but like as you can see here, the multiple times, and then raising that attack each single time that you super. So, you know, it's like this is basically one of his better scenarios where he did get the, or I guess more average scenarios where he did get the 2 supers. So it's just like if he went for a full dodge there, he would have had the 78% chance to dodge right there. Wait, no. 72% chance to dodge. Sorry, I was looking at the chance for it to happen. But yeah, let's just see. Does Dokkan World actually do it without support on rotation? Defense looking at 300. Okay, that's with the intro. Never mind. That's with the intro. Do you do it now? 525. Okay. But yeah, you're missing out on that stuff. This is with 9.8. That's like with it with the Yajirobe support. So honestly, I would probably say I think full dodge is probably just best on this guy because it's the same. I guess it's the same argument you could probably make with God Goku. Probably. I can't really think of another unit off the top of my head other than God Goku. Where it's just like if you want to be able to use this guy's leader skill in the future, which he has an insane leader skill. Of course, you know, just getting all of the Gokus, all of the Z fighters, basically, all of the Gohan units, stuff like that. Piccolo too. Like, this is a stacked category, but if you want to be able to use that in the future, and Yamcha is going to get to a point where he is not able to tank normals, and even now he is not able to tank normals from some physical bosses. You're just gonna have to pray on those dodges, and if a unit has a thing where a boss has it where they're doing an AoE attack and you're wanting to throw this guy in slot 3, again, 12.5% chance increase. Before supering, of course, but that stuff like that matters. Like, I definitely would say don't go crit on this guy though. I think the medium chances is good enough, and you at least with the additional attack and the dodge, you can make the arguments for stuff like that. I do not think you should build any crit on this guy because he already has a medium chance, and dodge chance works the same way as crit chance, where if a passive says that they have like a medium chance to crit and you go more crit, it's going to try to do the built-in crit with the passive and then try to proc the hidden potential one if you don't get that one off. So it's just not worth it at that point. And the other stuff isn't going to help. The crit's not going to help him age better. So I think it's just like the taxes are really good. 4 million, then 6 million, 8 million, 10 million. Like that's decent. I think 10 million is decent. The issue is though, it comes at the price of not being able to dodge more. And I think that just going full dodge on this guy is probably the case. Same thing with Yajirobe. I think you should just go full on dodge with Yajirobe. He's a support unit. He's not doing any damage. Should we see? Do they show his damage? Still can't show his damage. Oh, he's so insane! 4 million. What was actually his defense? Because I know for sure that they showed his defense beforehand. Yeah, and then he's gonna get the extra 120% defense. So let's just say roughly 200k. Even with the defensive raise on super, I guess you can go from 400 to 600k. I still do not think you should go additional on Yajirobe. Go full dodge. Go full dodge. And I'd say for Yamcha, it's probably best to just go full dodge too. Because like, I would say just look at the dodge chance increases for additional attack, right? So 5%, basically 5%, 5%, right? You're starting off at 52.5, and then you're getting 5% with each super attack. This one you just start off at 65. You would have to super attack 3 times to be able to get the same amount of dodge chance that you would be able to have with just 30 dodge on Yamcha. Probably even more with the 32 dodge. And then once you super once, 68.5. So you'd have to super 4 times to catch up to it. And if he gets a second super, which is mostly likely, again, gonna have to get the 4 supers, and then it's just like get the 3 supers to get what he would have during the active skill. Which is another thing again too. Let's say that you're fighting something like physical or Sin Shenron, and you need to have that dodge chance. Let's say you did 2 super attacks that turn, and then you use the active skill. It's a 75.5% chance to dodge. He has a higher than great chance to dodge, and that is a 78.9% chance of happening. Even if you just get the 1 super attack, he's gonna have still 72% chance to dodge, which is still higher than great. So it's just like dodge chances is a thing to go. I think full dodge on this unit is probably the best, because as his damage sort of ages out, and we're seeing that a little bit, where units like God Goku are hitting like 6 million, and then 7 million, 8 million, 10 million, 12 million plus, as LRs come out where they drop. What's an attack stat? I guess it get dropped for something. I guess like STR Kaioken Goku for something like that. That guy drops like 10 million plus too. It's just like units are gonna get better offensively as time goes on. Look at STR Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. There's always gonna be units like that where they're just gonna deck the entire stage, you know. But if you want to, I think it's probably best for age-wise if you just go full defense on this guy. And full defense is going full dodge. It's just the way to go. I think. I do think that this is like unlikely to the highest degree, though. Do not expect to have the 82.5% chance to dodge. Do not expect the 76.25% chance to dodge. It's just way too unlikely. Well, as you can see, like I was saying, I don't think I actually said it, but yeah, and it's technically not 78% and technically not 83% when you use the active skill, just because it does get increased with the active skill chance as well. Because if you also do not know, when you use an active skill, it procs your hidden potential twice, so it has a second chance to get something good, and it will go for the higher thing. So if my first hidden potential was a normal attack and my second hidden potential chance was the super attack, it will do the super attack instead. So again, something to think about. Yeah, you're gonna have a basically 72% chance to dodge almost 78% of the time. And then even a 75.5 when you use the active skill. And then that's comparing to a 66.75. So yeah, the Yamcha is a defensive unit. His defensive utility will outage his damage. So just go full dodge on this. If you did like this video, if you did like the information that was given, if you did like the fact that I had to go through all of this, please be sure to leave a comment, leave a like. Maybe you're having a little bit of difficulty with deciding what to do on another unit, just leave a comment and I'll try to cover it when I can. But if you guys like the video, please make sure to leave a like, maybe even subscribe if you like seeing content like this. I'll try to do stuff like this more often, like I was saying, because you guys loved the other one where I did with God Goku, where I try to compile all the information, say what you might or what you probably should go for his hidden potential. And I'm gonna probably do that with more Dokkan Fest in the future, with more LRs in the future, maybe free to play if it gets to that point. But I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.